Hey folks, John Rice here, aka the LEXpert, and I am doing a neighborhood video tour for you today. I'm going to be in a neighborhood in South Lexington called Waterford, and here it is. One of the coolest things about this neighborhood is it's got these two ponds at the entrance at Clearwater and Man of War. Big landscape median. There's another pond on the other side. It's a little cold for me to walk over there, so it's smaller than this one, but just as nice. It's kind of a dreary day. Kind of hate to do these video tours in the winter, but I want to get them out and let you all see them. The reason I don't like doing them in the winter is I just don't think it shows them off good. Like this neighborhood has a lot of big trees, areas like you're seeing here, and you just kind of have to pretend what they look like. With leaves on them. So I'm in Waterford today. I'm mainly going to be focusing on the oldest section, which is closer to Man of War. There is was a newer phase of Waterford, but I like this oldest part the best because it had the widest variety of builders and of course the best lots, and of course now the trees. Now that this area is 10 to about 17, 18 years old. A lot of the trees have really matured well. These houses here pretty much represent the whole neighborhood well. There's 354 houses in Waterford, according to the PVA. There's a school bus letting some kids off. And a lot of these out here are, you know, like 2,100 square feet all the way up to maybe 2,700 square feet. Some of them have basements, some of them don't. Some of them have finished basements, some of them don't. Typically on the low end, you're looking at maybe right around $200,000 for one that's doesn't have a basement, maybe a little outdated. 2,000, 2,500 square feet. I've seen a couple recently that I've been in that were just under 200, but I'm afraid if I tell you like 190, you'll think all of them out here are that low. And that's just not the case. Some of the nicest ones up here in Waterford, you know, if they've been updated and have a finished basement, they're selling for right around $300,000. The schools for Waterford, at least for this older initial section, the elementary is Southern Elementary, the middle is Southern Middle, and the high school is Tage Creek High School. None of those are schools that I've ever had a buyer say, oh, I really have to be in that district. But also, I've never had anybody tell me to avoid those districts. So I think the perception is that those schools are, you know, kind of middle of the road, nothing to avoid, nothing special. There's the clubhouse for Waterford. That used to be the residence when this was a farm. It was the Coons property. And now the back of it is towards Clearwater. There's a parking lot. They've built a pool. The neighborhood association recently purchased the clubhouse and pool. So if you're in the market right now, there's a chance that, you know, you may have to pay the special assessment. I think it was like $800 to $1,000 or so that all the homeowners had to kick in to purchase that. But you know, the good news is once that's all been paid, whoever buys these houses is going to, that's already going to be paid for, and of course it's not going to increase the value of the house, so it's kind of free to whoever's the buyer for any houses out here that, you know, are going to be closing soon. Here's some more of the clubhouse area. I'm behind it now. I guess the thing to do with this special assessment, if, like I said, if you're in the market right now, you've got a contract on one, or you're negotiating, getting ready to negotiate a contract, you just want to make sure that that assessment has been paid or will be paid out of the seller's proceeds when you close. Because you don't want to close and then wind up, you know, you having to pay for it. I've always liked that house right there. I think that looks kind of cool. One of the cool things about Waterford is that it's a good neighborhood for big lots. I've shown a lot of houses out here. Many of them have really big lots, especially ones, you know, at the end of cul-de-sacs. There's a lot of sloping area in Waterford, so, you know, I don't know, if you want a big flat level yard, that might be hard. But there's also a lot of green space, you know, like really heavily wooded areas off of several of these streets that you just, you got a big backyard and it slopes down to that wooded space. Pretty neat. And here's a prime example of some of the, you know, the wooded area. You can see some of the lots that these houses have. You can also see the slope, but I think it'd be cool nonetheless to have this wooded area. Yeah, there's some good ones there. While I'm here, I may as well just mention the fact that this is one of those neighborhoods that doesn't really have a real distinct boundary. You know, you might look on search engines for real estate and you might see some neighborhoods that say they're in Waterford, but they're really in Highland Lakes or even Pinnacle. There's just kind of no real distinct line that says this is Highland Park, this is Pinnacle, this is Waterford. And a lot of realtors, you know, don't check the PVAs. So, in other words, you might be searching and you might find a house that isn't on one of the streets that I mentioned, or even has a different school district, and it might be mislabeled Waterford. There is a small section of this neighborhood, a newer part that's commonly referred to as Waterford, that does have a slightly better school district, which is Veterans Park Elementary, and then also it's got the same middle school and high school. Oh wow, and just stumbled across prime example of some of these the space between the houses and the sloping lots. Near the end of Waterford is a city park called Veterans Park. It's like 250 acres, got a creek running through it, a wooded area, sports stuff, just pretty cool. You could walk to it, that's how close it is. So I want to point that out to you too, because that's a great amenity to have. Well, that about wraps it up. Hope you've enjoyed it.